divine appointments in India are more likely. Although Christians are very less in the total population of India, Christians worship God in truth and spirit in every state of India. And they are making known the truth and salvation that they have come to know. It was not after independence but from the first centuries when Jesus Christ died on the cross of Calvary. The disciples of Jesus, the apostles, reached India with the mission of bringing the gospel to all the world, birth, death, resurrection, which was the final statement of the risen Jesus Christ. The content of Christianity is to bring the known Christ to others rather than spiritual material blessings through Jesus Christ. The gospel has the power to give courage and hope to man, removing his inner and outer bondages, sicknesses and sorrows. No other religion or ism can clearly define eternal life apart from the gospel. Before and after the first century, the Portuguese, the Spanish and later the English, who came to India for trade and science, not only did that, they contributed a lot to the overall development and social reform of the Indian society. The role of missionaries in India's present developments cannot be overlooked. In the last century or the beginning of this century, secularism in India was not harmed.
Your latest response to the statement made by Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, where he goes on to say that socialist secular not mentioned in the constitution copies.
He should know that the constitution that was drafted by Baba Saheb Ambedkar and which was adopted by India on 26th of January 1950 did not contain those two words in the preamble. In fact, those two words were inserted when the entire opposition was in jail at the time of emergency by Indira Gandhi. And therefore, the original copy of the preamble and the constitution, which I'm sure the Congress never has respected in its lifetime, does not contain those two words. When an original copy of the constitution will be given, how will there be the amended version which came in after 1975? And secondly, recently the Congress tweeted out a copy of the preamble, if you remember, and there were 5 mistakes in it. Do you remember that tweet which the Congress had to pull down?
But the BJP government that came to power recently has violated all the respectable boundaries of secularism. They have fulfilled their personal agenda in many states by curtailing the freedoms provided by the Constitution of India. Today, under the central government BJP, all other religious groups except Hinduism are facing severe persecution, especially Christians. As a proof of that, India has been included in the list of 50 countries that persecute Christians in the world, and it is shocking that it has reached the 11th position in the list. Across BJP-ruled northern states, pastors and believers are being arrested and attacked. In Manipur, we have seen around 300 institutions including Christian churches and institutions destroyed and around 200 Christians killed. Now, with the implementation of the Prohibition of Religious Conversion Act in BJP-ruled states, harassment is also taking place at the government level. Institutions, churches and charitable organizations are all under the knife. Christians are now reduced to second-class citizens in their own country due to the same pressures and attacks from the government level and pro-BJP organizations. Contrary to the custom, the Prime Minister threw a party at his house on this Christmas Day and invited everyone. He was interacting with the children and listening to songs.
Happy that I came, and I was particularly happy with the Prime Minister's message, attitude, warmth, friendliness. He spoke about the contribution of the Christian community.
फ्रेंड्स, जीसस ने करुणा और सेवा के मूल्यों को जिया है। उन्होंने एक ऐसा समाज बनाने के लिए काम किया जिसमें सबके लिए न्याय। हमारे देश की विकास यात्रा में यही मूल्य एक गाइडिंग लाइट की तरह हमें रास्ता दिखा रहे हैं।
On the other hand, Christians are also obliged to pray for the kingdom and the kingdom's authorities, even in the face of persecution. They do it as the Holy Bible enjoins it. Whenever Prime Minister Modi came to Kerala, he asked bishops and believers to support BJP. Prohibition of conversion laws and other persecutions and arrests. While the believers in churches in the northern states are swelling, the believers here have not been able to adapt to the idea of asking for support from the Christians in Kerala.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi on how they raised concerns about increasing attacks on places of Christian worships across the country, sought steps to end these atrocities. The Prime Minister also pledging his support to all of those leaders. Let me quickly go across to Vivek joining us with more details. Also interestingly, Vivek, comes at a time when we heard it from some of the members of the Christian community at the Melbourne event as well, really hailing Prime Minister Modi's Sabka Saath vision. And here comes the visuals from yesterday of his interaction with several spiritual leaders from churches in Kerala.
Yes, indeed. This picture was taken from the Taj Malabar, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi was having an interaction with 8 bishops, selected bishops in Kerala. Now, this include Syro Malabar Chief Cardinal Mar George Alanjeri and also KCBC Secretary Mar Klimis Katolika Bava and other heads of the church, including the Latin Church. Remember, the Latin Church was not in good terms as far as BJP is concerned, especially in South Kerala. Where there were issues regarding the Vizhinjam port, which was built by the Adani, and in other areas also there were certain denominations of the church, especially in central Kerala, who were clearly raising apprehensions regarding the attacks against minority Christians in various parts of the country. But yesterday in Taj, we saw Prime Minister Narendra Modi having interaction with 8 bishops, which all bishops which basically represent all the denominations of the church, including the Roman Catholic, the Latin Catholic, and all the other denominations. And in this discussion, 2 major important issues were raised. One was the attacks against Christians in various parts of the country, and the second issue was regarding the prices of rubber. Remember, this was one issue which the church has been raising right from the beginning of 2023. The Bishop of Tamarasheri and Talasheri has raised it a number of times, and this time in this discussion, this issue was raised with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has, what we understand, has given a positive response to both of their demands, and he has clearly said that the government at the centre is clearly looking. They are really concerned about the attacks against Christian minorities in various parts of the country, and they will take adequate steps. And as far as rubber issue is concerned, yes, what we understand is that the central government has taken serious note of this issue, and various steps will be taken to ensure that the welfare of rubber farmers are also being addressed. There are also other issues which have been discussed in this meeting, which went on for 30 minutes. We are yet to get more details about this, but this meeting is going to be a game changer as far as the BJP and the NDA is concerned, especially after the victory in northeast states, including Meghalaya and other states, and also in Goa, that the Christian outreach in Kerala is clearly looking in a positive sense, in a positive direction right now, with all the heads of the church, including the Syro Malabar Church head, Mark George.
Electorally speaking as well, it comes at a crucial time because the BJP has been setting its sight on Kerala as well. And in that sense, if we talk about,
Today Mr. Modi is the Prime Minister of India and not the brand ambassador of BJP. He will be able to take healthy decisions keeping the various communities of India together. In any case, this year, 2023, a good message has been given to Christians through the Christmas party given by Prime Minister Modi. It is hoped that the state's anti-conversion laws will be repealed and the way for full evangelization will be opened as in the past.
To India now, where there has been a rise in the number of attacks on churches and Christian gatherings. They are being carried out by right-wing Hindu groups emboldened by new laws that crack down on religious conversion. Critics say these groups are abusing the laws to push their own agenda, often facing no consequences themselves. DW Delhi correspondent Nimisha Jaswal travelled to the town of Hubballi in the southern state of Karnataka.
The highlight of Pastor Somu Avaradhi's week has always been the Sunday service. But now, he's praying alone at his church in Hubli. It is the first time he has been back in more than 3 months. Last October, as the pastor was on his way to the church, he received urgent phone calls warning him that volunteers linked with Hindu right-wing groups were disrupting the Sunday prayer gathering there. They had barged in and started loudly chanting Hindu hymns. When the pastor arrived to question them, they claimed that they had proof he had tried to forcefully convert a Hindu man in their midst. The pastor said he'd never met the alleged victim before, yet he was still taken to the police station on charges of verbally abusing a man from a protected caste.
I was the one who called the police. I was going to file a case against them, but they pushed me aside and started beating me. They beat 7 members of my church. They entered the police station and abused and threatened me.
No action has been taken against the Hindu group. It was the pastor who spent 11 days in jail, and he continues to face charges. It didn't end there. The pastor's family was terrorized in their neighborhood. Their landlord threatened with harm if he didn't evict them. They were forced to move. They also had to pull their daughter out of school because she was being bullied.
My children's classmates were harassing them. taunting them that their father had been sent to prison. My children were embarrassed. I had to pull them out of school. They haven't been able to return.
Groups here strongly support the law. Manjunath Hibsur was amongst the men who stormed Pastor Avaradi's church. He alleges that Christian congregations like Avaradi's brainwash Hindus into rejecting their religion or offer financial incentives to convert. The law, he says, will give them strong grounds to put an end to this.
Once the law comes, we can demolish these churches. We are already prepared to demolish them, but we are waiting for the law to be passed. Once it is passed, our hands are no longer tied. We are free to take action. We can catch them and report them to the police, and they'll go to prison.
For now, Pastor Avaradi visits church members at home and only in areas considered safe. This man and his family were also forced out of their village after the attack on the church. But they say they find comfort in prayer. All they want is the freedom to do so in peace.
Well, your Delhi correspondent Nimisha Jaswal filed this report and she joins us now from Delhi. Nimisha, these attacks have been going on for some time. Why is the government not doing more to protect these Christian communities?
Well, Gerhard, the simple reason is that the government is often one of those making these allegations. In the case that we just watched, the BJP's elected representative was actually one of the people who led the protests following the pastor's arrest and actually called for action against him. Now, of course, it's important to note here that India's Christian community is one of the oldest in Asia and dates back centuries, yet the target of these groups as well as BJP legislators is those who were born Hindu and have either officially converted or are covertly believing in Christianity. But of course, BJP legislators themselves have actually been present or have made speeches that directly call for action and sometimes even violence against these communities. And they are, of course, also pushing anti-conversion laws across the country.
Well, tell us more about this anti-conversion bill. What's its purpose?
Well, to look at the one in Karnataka, Gerhard, interestingly, it's called the Freedom of Religion Bill. And if you look at it simply, it actually just prescribes ways to convert. For example, it says that you should let authorities know a month before converting and also report your conversion a month after it. However, all these reports actually allow for time for Hindu right-wing groups to attack or abuse these people. So this is generally avoided. In addition, many kinds of conversions are considered fraudulent or forced and can be charged. The word allurement, for example, is used for what is considered illegal, and that has such a broad definition that pretty much anyone can be charged with forcing conversions, and anyone can report these conversions as well, not just family but neighbors and bystanders too, and strict action is taken against these people.
Nimisha, India has also been recording a rise in attacks on minorities for quite some time. How is this impacting the Modi government's popularity there?
Well, while international condemnation and attention has been brought to the fact that attacks on minorities are rising in India, domestically, political analysts believe that this could actually be adding to the Modi government's popularity because of this government's agenda of a Hindu Rashtra or a Hindu nation, which is being promoted not only through policies like these, but also laws and as well as silence on attacks on minorities. Now, this, for example, can include saying that Christians are forcing conversions or saying that Muslims are marrying Hindu girls and practicing love jihad. All of these allegations demonizing minorities and saying that Hindus are under threat and that Hindus should take over power and should be the religion that drives the nation. This, of course, plays well amongst the voters for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government as well.
The W's. Nimisha Jaswal there reporting. Thank you very much, Nimisha.
Gospel is God's salvation for mankind. No nations can close their doors against it. The doors are closed, it is dangerous. Jesus Christ said, I will build my church and the towers of Hades will not prevail against it. History shows that deliverance and freedom are the hatchings of persecution and slavery.